The Pokemon Company has finally issued a statement about the controversy of what is happening at Play Pokemon events where disabled players and minors are being abused by tournament officials. The biggest story being the one with Makani, where a transgender judge got offended at how Makani stated his pronouns and then had him forcefully removed from the event. That got a crazy amount of traction. We're going to talk about it. But we're going to see if the Pokemon Company response is actually good enough and addresses the problems that are going on, because there's also an insane amount of abuse from the players and cheating. So let's see what we have. The Play Pokemon program is founded on the principles of mutual respect and creating a welcoming space for all players, professors, parents, staff, and spectators alike. I mean, they've been saying that for years, but we can see that that's not the case. In response to recent events, we are investigating the most effective ways to keep the community informed about significant changes and incidents concerning Play Pokemon activities. Our community are our partners in upholding the integrity of this program, and to provide better support, we recognize the importance of increasing transparency and evaluating our processes. We appreciate your patience as we work towards evolving our program, policies, and partnership. In the spirit of the game and our community, we appreciate everyone continuing to support one another with honor and respect. Well, that's not happening at any of the events. And how many cheating scandals do I have to show before someone's actually punished? We got it in VGC, we got it in TCG, we got it in TCG, we got it in TCG. Alex sold out Makani and created a lot of this problem because he wanted the free win, since he knows the vulnerability with Makani not giving his pronouns properly, and that violates some rule somewhere. And the reason why I'm not buying that it's about making a welcoming space for all players, professors, parents, staff, etc. is because the reason why we're in this situation is because of the equality, equity, diversity, and inclusivity policy. Yeah, equity. That nonsense, which is why we're here. And the last couple of years has proven policies like this will create problems, will lead to abuse. We see it in workplaces, we see it in society, we see it in cities, we see it in competition, that this is where the problems are coming from the over-enforcement and over-defense of quote-unquote vulnerable or discriminated groups. Now, the problem is the Pokemon Company International has been corrupt for almost a decade, and I've been covering it for about as long, especially when it comes to Play Pokemon events, Pokemon tournament organizer abuse and corruption and stuff like that. So it's going to take a lot to reverse this, and as I talked about in my video about Makani, it's already in the rules to de-escalate penalties. This should have never happened. So if you just get one bad judge and then it just kind of takes a couple of events for a major ruling to get mishandled, the same thing's going to happen, and it's going to keep happening because we have already had the protections and procedures in place to make sure this doesn't happen, and it keeps on happening. And like I said, now we're seeing it like more and more than ever, so that's a big problem. The only thing I'm hopeful about is the transparency. I want to hear about rulings. I want to hear about player bans. I want to hear about which judges to hold responsible. That way we can identify them if they move to other parts, or if they host like local events or something, that they do not come back, that they do not have an opportunity to abuse players again anywhere in this community or anywhere in gaming. We need to hold people accountable, which is kind of the whole point of these policies, and yet for some reason we don't see it happen when it needs to happen. There's also very vague rules about judges being discouraged but not completely forbidden from talking about rulings on social media and stuff. We still need to like see how this process went down. Like, what was the head judge thinking to throw a minor out of an event and wait on the streets for an hour? Like, how do you get to that point? How is your rationale that insane? So I mean, like, we need to see that. I think it's impossible when you're at the scale of the Pokemon Company, where you have, 2,000 people between VGC, TCG, and Pokemon Go showing up to events. You need a lot of staff. You need a lot of professors for that. You can't vet every single person in every single way to kind of get to that point to where you have it to where it's going to be a well-hosted event. And even smaller Pokemon events, we're still having a lot of problems with players getting away with cheating and professors / judges / tournament organizers still not behaving appropriately. So I mean, it'll be cool to see, like, the transparency. However, this is kind of a non-statement, and it's been a while. We can go and see, like, yeah, that was over a week ago when this happened. March 25th was when the Twitlonger dropped, and now it's April 4th, and we get like the biggest non-statement. Now, because the Pokemon community is so toxic, I'm expecting this to just kind of dissolve and lead to no changes whatsoever. Like, even if there's talk about transparency, I feel like the transparency is going to be, there's going to be a small rules update that really isn't elaborated on, and we're not really going to hear too much about this because, you know, this is just the generic bland PR statement you make. Everything blows over, everyone forgets in the next news cycle, it's done. It just kind of also seems like this is more of a response to it getting the wrong attention that the Pokemon company wants to see, because now more people are really kind of seeing how abusive and bad the pronoun mafia is, even though it's been like well known for years that this has been going on, and it finally just got like the major attention. Now, it's also kind of weird and upsetting for me because I'm the only honest and good Pokemon content creator, so whenever I cover something, it just gets immediately like dislike botted, suppressed, I get hate rated, I get attacked by the Pokemon community for covering these kinds of problems in the past, and if it doesn't get out, then it just gets buried forever. I mean, we kind of saw with Goatmoth and his like crazy Tarkov saga, like the cheating problem there. The cheating problem in Pokemon is far worse. We pretty much have every regional champion being a confirmed hacker and cheater, stealing thousands of dollars in prize money. The face of VGC, Wolfey VGC, who has also been promoted relentlessly by the Pokemon company, because without him, no one cares about the event, and even with him, no one cares about the event, and no one's like really participating in a dedicated kind of way, unless they are cheating themselves, where he's been confirmed to be a career-long cheater, lies about it as well, which is also really bad, and then a thief of tens of thousands of dollars. So like, we just have evil people in the Pokemon community kind of getting away with it. We have the second place from the 2022 World, so the most recent World Championship. Who is the Spaniard who had a team of legal Pokemon? What a lack of respect. This guy just defending hacking as the second place world champion, or like, yeah, the world champion runner-up. But the world champion, the first place of 2022, was also confirmed through the same means to be a cheater as well. This guy also making evil tweets. If using bots allows me to steal thousands of dollars, I will continue to do it more than ever. Here he's saying, I'm very good despite not following the rules, and the level would drop a lot, as in like the skill. You know, if he had to play legitimately, he admits that cheating gives such a massive advantage that if you are not cheating, your skill level drops off a significant amount. I would have to retire. He would have to quit without cheating. That is how significant it is. We have the world second place saying this, and then idiots will either just kind of ignore and reject that Wolfey is a proven cheater, or they'll say that cheating doesn't matter. We actually have people that are cheating and then placing, and I guess being honest about it, so a point to him, even though he's being a scumbag about it. Yeah, just kind of saying like, yeah, cheating is such a massive advantage Pokemon, you can't win without it. And he would have to quit if it wasn't for hacking in Pokemon. And even with like the top players saying this, people are still like, nope, no advantage, even though it's just pure idiocy and stuff. So I mean, like, that's the state of Pokemon. And we also have the breakdowns where stuff like this has been showing for years. It's like every world champion that isn't Japanese, which is like all but 3 of them, I think, and maybe one of those Japanese players was still hacking, confirmed cheater. We also just have pretty much every event and all the top cuts and invitationals, Players Cup, just a long history of just confirmed cheating everywhere in Pokemon. So we have every top player being hard confirmed to be a cheater, all but one of them lying about it, and then we see that like over 90% of players at events are actually cheating as well, and the response is just kind of like this nothing, only after like the craziest possible story blows up, but then there's still like a lot of other issues and a lot of other things that need to be addressed. But it seems like the cheating is what is addressed the least inside of Pokemon. We also have this guy, Vancouver, first place, just got confirmed to be a cheater. Their response is to gloat about it. So like liking the tweets where I'm confirming that he is a cheater because he knows like he's not going to get punished by the Pokemon company and gets away with it despite it being against the rules, despite it actually giving an advantage and ruining the integrity of the game. So yeah, just like too much corruption everywhere, and that's how we get to this, even with all the policies and rules in place, because the Pokemon company doesn't care. I don't expect the Pokemon company to keep on caring, but maybe this opens the door. Maybe the next time it happens, hopefully this is kind of shown to news outlets that like Pokemon event coverage and the problems with the Pokemon company are very serious, and if you cover it, you can actually like watch some pretty crazy viral stuff come out of it. So maybe this like puts more light on, so when the Pokemon company inevitably fails because of this deep-seated corruption that is not going to be changed by a little PR thing. It just keeps on putting more and more pressure on. Maybe something gets done, and then maybe people realize like, oh, this is the Goatmoth Tarkov situation, but way worse. And that would actually be really cool to kind of see something reverse on. So I'm a little hopeful there, but it's only outside the Pokemon community. No one inside the Pokemon community wants to do anything about it because they're happy abusing, cheating, exploiting players, and then just for their own gain. And people on the outside that are actually reasonable are going, wait, this is horrible. This is wrong. So yeah, there we go. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.